Um, I just wanted to whip out this quick, or not so quick, review on the Salomon Aero Glide 3. I've seen a couple reviews on it, but nobody's really put anything out with any decent amount of mileage. So this is a 126 mile review that I have. So I think I might have a little bit of perspective there. I bought this shoe with my own money. Salomon doesn't know I exist. Running Warehouse doesn't know I exist. So let me get right into it. The material. So the upper. So the upper, they did this, they're saying it's like, Ferrari race car glove or something like that, where basically what they did is it's kind of an inside-out design. You see the lace eyelets are kind of these little loops that go on the outside. They actually work quite well as far as just like snugging up the laces real tight. They're comfortable. And then it's got this funky little fin on the back. I think this is all part of this inside-out style design. It has a big tongue up on top, but if the tongue is, it's not gusseted technically, but what it is, it's actually from here down. It's actually sewn right together with the upper. So it's like they made a separate tongue and they just sewed it together. Pardon me. But overall, it's comfortable. I did go a half a size down. I saw Joanna's original video on this, and I know he's sort of on the big side for a 10.5. I'm usually on the small side, and I saw how much room he had in the toe, so I was like, ooh, I better go half size down. So I did, and even though I have sort of a wide foot, I still have a lot of room in the toe box, and so I actually want to see if we can do this here. So I'm going to show you how this fits. See, I have to kind of force my foot in there a little bit because of the way it's sewn in. But then, you see, my thumb is right here. My toe, the end of my toe is right there. So I still have a full thumb's width, even though I have it in a size 10, which is a half size down for me. So I've got plenty of room in the toe box. I always describe my foot as being kind of duck-shaped, that it's flat but a little bit triangular, and I've got a lot of room, very, very comfortable for me. The stack height, according to Running Warehouse, it's 42-34 for men's size 9. And also according to Running Warehouse, it's 249 grams or 8.8 ounces. So for my size 10, I weighed them both, and one of them weighed in at 263 grams, the other one weighed in at 267 grams. So of course it's heavier than the standard size because it's a size up, and a 4 gram difference, which I don't feel on the road. I just weighed them, and I've been running in them for a couple weeks already. The material is this beaded TPU. You can see it kind of up close here. Actually, you can see it better on the bottom. Very similar to the Adidas Boost or the Saucony Power Run Plus. as far as the material. It's soft and bouncy. Feels pretty soft, feels very comfortable on the road, and it doesn't feel big, and it doesn't feel like there's no ground feel, but it's still pretty plush. But the way I would describe it is as a very nicely cushioned, balanced daily trainer, even though technically it's a max stack height shoe, but it doesn't have that really big, bulky feeling that you might get out of like a Nimbus or something like that. The outsole, they call it this Conta grip rubber, whatever the name is. My first one or two runs, I was pretty concerned as far as the grippiness, but then after that, it kind of maybe it broke in a little bit. This is my running buddy here is getting in the shot. So the grip is okay. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. I have some concerns about durability. If you look right here, this is where I tend to get the most wear on my shoes, and you can see that the traction pattern has worn down a decent amount right here where I toe off. Everywhere else, it's pretty much perfect. A little bit right here because I do have some downhill sections where I'm hitting the pavement pretty hard. So that's still a question mark for me. I did see some decent amount of wear on my Puma DD Nitro 2, and I did end up taking those shoes to over 700 miles. So it remains to be seen. But that's my biggest question right now. So, how's the ride? Like I said, it feels pretty soft, and it's just really well balanced ride, and it's got a little bit of bounce to it, which you expect from these beaded TPU foams, like a Boost, like a Power Run Plus, and they've managed somehow to make it light, because this shoe's pretty light for a max stack shoe. And the nicest thing is that it's just really smooth as you roll through your stride. I usually land midfoot to forefoot. I can land almost anywhere, and it really doesn't punish me. I can also pick up the pace, and I feel like I can pick up the pace a decent amount because it's not that heavy, and it doesn't feel bulky. Yet I can also just do a slow recovery run, which for me is like in the 9.5 plus minutes per mile, and that one feels real nice too. I also brought out the New Balance More V3, which was one of my favorite shoes, mostly because it had this really nice geometry. And if you look here, the geometry on these two shoes is actually really, really similar. It's got a very similar rocker to it, which is a very gentle sloping rocker. It's not too aggressive. And when there's no load on it, that doesn't always mean much. But this one does have a similarly smooth feel to it, and I think that's one of the real highlights of this shoe. It's just that it's very versatile, and it just feels very smooth rolling through your stride. So what are my likes? My likes, first of all, it's soft and responsive. So it's got that very smooth, gentle rocker, which whether I'm trying to pick up the pace, if I'm increasing my cadence, or if I'm just doing like an easy run, I'm not fighting over the foam at all. It's pretty light, and it just doesn't feel big on foot. That's why even though at 42 millimeters in the back, it doesn't feel like a max stack shoe. But at the same time, I feel like I've got plenty of cushion, and I run exclusively on the street and on sidewalks. What do I dislike? Because, and I showed you how I put this on, because I have to kind of force my foot in there, it would have been nice if they put a heel tab on there. Right? There's no heel tab, so that means I have to stick my finger in here and pull this big tongue in order to stuff my foot in there. So a heel tab, simple, would have been nice. And then the other thing, like I said, is my questions about the outsole durability. So that one still waiting to be seen. What are the alternatives? I would say Nova Blast 5, because that one goes for 140. This one's 160. We'll see how the durability is on that. On this one, on the outsole, I know the Nova Blast, some people have expressed concerns about the durability of the midsole, about it flattening out after 100 miles or so, or kind of losing its bounce. The Mizuno Neo Zen is another one, which is 150 bucks. The Saucony Ride 18 or the New Balance 880 or 1080s are all kind of like daily trainer, cushioned. So those would probably be the ones that come to mind for me. Would I wear them to work? I always ask that question as far as, are they comfortable on foot? And definitely I would. These are some of the most comfortable shoes I own right now. But I'm going to have to put a good 500 miles in them before I retire them to take them to work, unless that outsole gives out before then. And finally, would I buy them again? As far as comfort, as far as ride, absolutely. Just going to have to wait and answer that question about the outsole. So I will try to follow up with at least with the 300 mile and possibly a 500 mile review, or whenever the shoes give up the ghost on me. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I will try to get back to you. Okay? Thanks.